As you know, one of the most important areas of development in artificial intelligence is coding. In this field, models are constantly competing with each other. A significant part of comparison charts includes these coding benchmarks. In addition, over the past year, many AI-powered coding assistants have entered our lives. I made a video where I compared coding assistants related to this topic. I'll leave the link right here. Cursor, Windsurf, Replit, Bolt, Klein, Lowable, and a bunch more that I can't even name. I'm sure you'll add your own suggestions in the comments too. They're all good. We could make detailed videos about each one of them individually. But if you look at it from another perspective, there really isn't that much of a difference between them, because they all use an AI model as their core model. Most of them use Claude. Some use Gemini, some use ChatGPT. You can choose whichever one you want. In summary, as I mentioned, since these are connected to a main model, they also improve themselves as the models make major advancements. While wondering if there might be an outage one day, with the release of its 4th version, specifically the Sonnet and Opus versions, Claude did not grant Windsurf access. So, what we were afraid of actually happened. That's why I've always kept in mind that, if we get the chance, we should use the core model. Plus, we need a structure that promises us something more automated in the future. And you know, I have a dream as well. An evening at 6, I want to say, let's make this app, review it, create a similar one, and run its tests. If I'm sure it works, I should say, publish it on the App Store account in the morning. Or I'll share an idea. I'll create it the same way. We need to switch to this workflow quickly. Look where Google View 3 has gotten. Hollywood is over. The era of big-budget commercials is ending. Honestly, we're waiting for this to happen in coding. Daria said Monday 2027, but I think we'll see a major leap by end of 2025. While I was preparing this video, O3 Pro was announced. When you compare its coding score to humans, it's reached the level of an international grandmaster. When it comes to these topics, I follow the company Anthropic, which is the company behind Claude. They're especially putting a lot of thought into coding. The MCP concept that we see everywhere right now is their creation. I actually made a detailed video about it back in November. I'll leave the link here again. Unlike other AI models, they haven't gotten into visual or video work. They chose to focus on coding. Again, this team announced the Claude Code feature, which is the closest to my own dream. Unlike other coding assistants, Claude Code connects directly to the terminal, the very heart of your computer. It handles all coding tasks from that level. So, we don't even have to see the files it creates. You just give the command, and it does everything inside that folder. When it's done, you are notified, you click and run it. There's Boris Sunny. He's the guy who developed Claude Code. I've seen his videos on YouTube. If you have time, watch them too. There are many code assistants. He said if we made one, we wouldn't satisfy anyone. And he's right. People get attached to the things they use just like they do to their parents. In this new era, we shouldn't form emotional attachments to anything. Anything can be torn down instantly, and we can move on to something new. At this point, Boris Sunny has launched Claude Code, which people can use directly in their code assistants. It's an amazing development, an agentic terminal that can code, create new files, edit them, understand projects, and fix errors. You can easily start using it without having to learn a new ID. Visual Studio Code, JetBrains, Xcode. In short, you can run it in any terminal. Install it once and it appears instantly, no repeated logins needed. In his interview, Boris mentioned writing Claude Code. When he said 80% of our developers use Claude Code, I thought, okay, that's it. I can use this too, and then I can talk about it. Right after Claude Code, OpenAI announced Codex. It works like Claude Code. But I'm not talking about the one added to the ChatGPT sidebar, I mean the GitHub one. Since I had both, I thought I'd compare them with similar questions. Let's see which one comes out on top. Let's get to the point. I'm on the Claude Code intro page. It says, unleash the power of Claude in your terminal. You can point to any file or folder and work with code bases with millions of lines. The best part is that you can run it with a single line of code. Beforehand, you need to have the latest version of Node JavaScript downloaded on your computer. I clicked on the Node JavaScript link. Here's the page. I'll add all the links I use in the video to the description as well. From here, you can download it for your operating system. Then, enter this line of code into your terminal and it will work. It quickly understands the whole topic. We'll do an example. It can also work with multiple files. You can also run several projects simultaneously. Claude works with Sonnet 4 and Opus 4. When you tell it to think better or think more as a prompt, Opus kicks in. Normally, Claude was included in the $100 per month max package and we could use it via API. Last week, they also included Claude Code in the Pro plan. You can make 40 to 50 queries in 5 hours. When your package runs out, you can switch to the API and pay per token. With Claude, a million token output costs $15 on Sonnet and $75 on Opus. I recommend switching to the max package. If you're using it this much, you're probably running a commercial business anyway. I think $100 is an affordable price. Let's look at other requirements for Claude Code. You need a computer. At least 4 gigabytes of RAM are needed. No JavaScript is also required. The link to this page will be in the video description. You can check this page too. There are shortcuts that will speed up your use of Claude Code. You can see those too. I'll show them as I use it, but might not show all. It doesn't work on Windows directly. You need to install WSL to set up and use a Linux system within Windows. The setup is simple. Any AI can help you. For example, I went to Claude, entered prompt, install WSL Windows. I said I spelled WSL wrong, knows me now. To write it right, ask Google, did you mean WSL? Yes, honey. This AI has been good for me. I type wrong, just banging at the keyboard, but they get it. The answer came, you can install it in PowerShell with one line. While explaining Claude Code, I'll try OpenAI's Codex with similar capabilities for competition. Codex is in ChatGPT and is a cloud-based tool for coding. It codes via GitHub. You can access it at chatgpt.com/codex. I won't be using it from there in this video. OpenAI has released a Codex application on GitHub that runs locally and is still in the trial phase. It works just like Claude Code. Codex is a CLI, command line interface, which is an interface where users interact with the computer by typing text-based commands. In the same way, it starts working with a single line of code. I'll set it up and ask the questions I want to ask Claude Code. OpenAI hasn't added this to their packages yet. We'll use it through the API. I've prepared some questions. Now, I'll ask the same questions to both Claude Code and Codex, starting with my classic Tetris question. Let's see. Some of you get annoyed with the Tetris questions. I don't really understand this frustration. Because I know how they react to the Tetris questions, I can compare them much more easily with previous models. And then I get comments like this. Like, forget Tetris, do more challenging software. I mean, I'm not a developer. I always say this. I just want to show you how it can be done. The rest is up to you. This is the path I chose for myself. First, I'm in the folder I prepared for Claude Code. The new Tetris folder is empty. While on it, I right-clicked and from the menu, I clicked the new terminal add folder link. It opened the terminal. Doing it this way will make sure everything happens only within the brand new Tetris folder. It won't be able to access any other files on the computer. From here, I can also see that I'm inside the brand new Tetris folder. I went to the Claude Code page and copied that famous one-line code I mentioned. I went to the terminal and pasted it. I pressed enter. The installation was completed. It's really that easy. From now on, wherever I type Claude, it'll pop up right away and get to work. I typed Claude and pressed enter. Welcome to Claude Code has arrived. I can use it as part of my Pro subscription. Now, I immediately enter my prompt here. Can you think through all the steps in detail and write a Tetris game for me? I said it and pressed enter. It started thinking. It said it would make the Tetris game. It started preparing a to-do list for itself. As you can see, it laid out all the steps. Then it started completing its list. It finished. Do you want me to create the index.html folder? It asked. I chose the second option, yes, and not to ask again. I pressed enter. I could also use the Shift+Tab shortcut. It completed all tasks step by step. It said you can run index.html. I went into the new Tetris folder, double-clicked index.html, and it opened in my browser. With a single prompt, it might have made the most stylish Tetris game I've seen. I played. It has everything: score, level, rows to clear, a preview of the next shape. It also shows a preview of where the piece will land. When I press space, it drops straight down. It's so good I can't stop playing. In short, it's complete. It switched back to the terminal. From here, I can enter the prompt again to make changes or request something else. Also, when you type a slash, you see commands showing what else Claude Code can do. For example, you can send feedback with bug. With clear, you can erase your conversation history. Compact also clears it, but it keeps a summary of the conversation. Config opens the settings panel. With cost, if you use the API, you can see how many tokens you spent for this session, and therefore how much money you spent. Doctor checks the output you generated, kind of like a checkup. Exit leaves the threads. Help opens the help menu. IDE checks the connection to an IDE, like Visual Studio Code. Within it, you can also create an MD file. MD files contain information about projects that generate them. For example, if we create an MD file for this project, the next time Claude Code comes in, it can read this file directly and get an idea about the project. It continues with connecting GitHub, Cloud Login, Logout, and MCP connection. Let's try init now. Let's create the Cloud MD file. I hovered over init and pressed enter. It said, I will create the Cloud MD file so it can be easily understood later. It started and finished creating the Cloud MD file. It said this will guide future use. Let's look. I went to the Tetris folder. It created the Cloud MD file. I previewed it. As you can see, it wrote all the details of the project. Now let's do it with Codex. I went to the Codex folder. For this, I created an empty folder called Tetris. I hovered over it as well, right-clicked and clicked on the Open Terminal at folder link. The terminal opened. I went to the OpenAI Codex GitHub page. I copied the Codex code line to start. I came back and pasted it into the terminal that opened. I pressed enter. Installation is complete. I'm inside the Tetris folder from scratch because I opened the terminal here. Now let's see what I'll do next. I went to the GitHub page. I'm going to export the API key from OpenAI. You can get your API key from platform.openai.com. I went to the platform page. I clicked on the API keys link in the sidebar on the left. You can create an API key. Let's check GitHub again. It says after exporting the API, just typing Codex will be enough. Awesome. I went to the terminal, typed Codex, pressed enter. This could be dangerous. Are you sure? He said. If I want to allow it to open, I can press Y on the keyboard, or N if I don't want to. I pressed Y, and some brief information appeared. It said it would use the Codex Mini latest model. The prompt box also opened. I'm entering my prompt. Can you code a Tetris game for me, considering all the details? I said, and pressed enter to send it. Just like Claude Code, Codex started thinking. Codex finished processing. It replied, which language to use? It asked, waiting for my input on graphics, mechanics, score, levels, colors, and sounds. I didn't want too much detail. I said, make it a standard HTML game, and sent it. It finished its process. Do you accept? He said. I pressed enter. It also wrote the CSS code. I approved it. Finished. It also wrote out the details of the files it created. Now I went to the Tetris folder. I clicked on the index.html file. I clicked the start button. It started running. The shapes are appearing, but there's something strange. The last piece in the row disappears. We can write the problem in the terminal again and ask it to fix it. Let's not waste time. Let's look at new questions. My question is this. I'm adding a data table. I'll ask them to create an interactive web page using this data. I'm in the Claude Code folder. I've come to the folder named 02 Analysis. I right-clicked. From the menu that opened, I clicked on New Terminal, Add Folder. The terminal opened. Since I've already installed Claude Code, I don't need to install it again. I typed Cloud and it came up. Let me show you this, because it's not very well known. It takes any file you drag and drop onto the terminal. It gets the file's address, but you can use it. I'll upload the data file I mentioned. It's a table called Amazon Moda that contains made-up data. I dragged it and dropped it onto the terminal. I entered my prompt. Can you examine this file and create an interactive analysis web page for me? I said that, pressed enter, and it started working. It listed the to-dos and began completing the items. It asked for confirmation and permission to make an HTML file, which I allowed. Then created Amazon Analysis HTML and JSON file. Went to Analysis folder. I opened the Amazon Analysis HTML file in the browser. It made a colorful design and filled in the data. It put other data into tabs. The tabs don't work. Other details are below. It could be fixed with a prompt again, but since my goal isn't to make an analysis page, I don't want to waste time on this. Now I'm going to do the same thing with Codex. I went to the Codex folder. I selected the 02 Analysis folder with the same name. I right-clicked and clicked the New Terminal, Add Folder link from the menu. A terminal was opened for the relevant file. Since we already did the setup for this as well, there's no need to set it up again. So I just typed Codex and pressed enter. Codex came up. I pressed the Y key. Codex became active. Now it's enough for me to just type Claude or Codex wherever I open a terminal on my computer for them to start tasks. I added my same analysis Excel file to the terminal. I entered my prompt. Can you analyze this file and prepare an interactive report summary page for me? I said and sent it. It started working. I gave approval when it asked for confirmation. Codex questioned again. Let it be React based on HTML and pressed enter. It asked for confirmation again. I approved them and created the index.html file. Went in Analysis folder. I opened index.html. It did things differently, setting up a way to upload and analyze my file. I clicked Choose File and selected the report. It visualized it right away. It showed the total number of orders. Some information is missing. It probably couldn't read it all, but I think it got the main idea. With a few more prompt adjustments, it should fix it. Let's try an example that even those who follow the channel will recognize. We had explained how you can install an application from GitHub onto your computer with the help of artificial intelligence. We gave the AI the link to the application and asked for help on how to install it, and with the help of AI, we completed the installation. Now, let's have Claude Code and Codex do this. This time, I'm going to keep at it until I get it done. Let's see how it goes. Here, there's an AI application on GitHub. It's an application that generates transcripts of videos I upload with the help of AI. I copied its link. By the way, my third trial application was to have an e-signature ad made. Since they couldn't do it in one go, I left it out of this video. For those of you wondering why we skipped it, let me explain. I went to the 04 GitHub folder inside the Claude Code folder. I right-clicked and clicked on the New Terminal, Add Folder link. My terminal opened. I typed Claude and the Claude Code task came up. I pasted the GitHub link and entered my prompt. After thoroughly reviewing the project at this link, if you can do it, could you install it on my computer? I said it and sent it. It started working. The same processes are continuing. I approved all of them. And right at this point, I got a warning that my quota in the Pro package was used up. I asked it to continue with the API, got the completed warning the first time, tried it but it didn't open. I said it wasn't working, and it couldn't get it to work on the second try either. Since switching to the API, it fails more. The meter runs, but doesn't deduct from the package, so I'll get the bill. It worked on the third try. My app opened. Isn't that awesome? All I did was press enter and say it didn't work. I didn't bother with any of the details. Now the app is running on my computer. I'm uploading one of my videos. Check it works. I clicked the browser files button and selected and uploaded a video from my computer, which I translated into English. I clicked the transcribe button. It's done. I press play so you can hear the audio a bit.
With Comfy UI, you can create high-quality images for free.
As you can see, it translated it very cleanly. Now let's try the same thing with Codex. Let's see how many tries it will take. I went to the Codex folder, right-clicked on the 04 GitHub folder, and clicked the new terminal add folder link. The terminal opened. I typed Codex and pressed enter. Codex has started. I pressed the Y key and entered. I entered the link in my prompt into the prompt section and sent it. It started, asked for permission, and I granted it. It asked for confirmation and I did that too. It's done. You can use it from this link. I held down the command key and clicked with the mouse and the link opened in the browser. It worked on the first try, not a single hiccup. Well done, Codex, you're awesome. I got a bit sexist out of excitement, but oh well, you're an individual, Codex. Let's see if it works. Again, I selected the same video and uploaded it. I clicked transcribe and it finished. Congratulations to both, but more to Codex. This is the final part. Here, once again, I downloaded all the code for an AI application I found on GitHub to my computer. First, I'll ask them to figure out what this project is about, and then to run it. This application is an Alama chat app. When I run this chat app, I'll be able to talk to the AI models inside the Alama application that's running in the background on my computer. If you want to learn what Alama is and how it works, there are plenty of videos about Alama on the channel. I went to the 05 Alama folder and opened it in the terminal like before. I called Claude. I'll enter my prompt. Can you review the file and explain what it is? I said that and sent it. Let's see what it understands from the project first. It started working. It finished. First, it understood this is a chatbot application. Can you run it? You said and sent it. It asked for confirmations again and I sent them. It said it was done. It also gave the local link. I held down the command key and clicked the link. It opened in the browser, but unfortunately it didn't work. I won't drag this out any longer. Like in the previous example, I can say it didn't work and still make it work. There's no problem with that. Let's not waste time. Codex solved it all at once just now, and my mind's still on that. I opened the terminal in 05 Alama folder in Codex directory. The same application is in here as well. For convenience, I usually open the file from the terminal, but I can also change the address inside the terminal. I typed cd. Change directory is the shortcut in terminal. It took me to the parent folder. I wrote cd space desktop / codex / 01-alama. Pressed enter. I reached the same place again. I typed codex and it came up. I pressed Y and now I'm inside. I entered my prompt in the box. Can you review the file and explain it? I said and sent it. It reviewed it in general. It asked which file it should review. I said you can start with the README file. It understood the application. Can you run this? I said and sent it. By the way, Claude Code understood what it was right away. Codex asked address. It started running. I gave approval. It finished and gave a localhost link. I clicked and opened it. It surprised me. It opened in one go. Congratulations, Codex. Alama was pre-installed on my system. The chat application detected the Queen 2.5 model I had installed. I typed hello and sent it. The conservative Queen replied with Aili Consulum. I think it's great. I did all the examples through the terminal, but at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that you can also use it through Visual Studio Code. Let me show you that as well. I'm in Visual Studio Code. I opened a folder, a project. I opened a terminal in VS Code by clicking New Terminal. Like in the main terminal, when I typed Claude Code, it popped up right away. I pressed enter and it opened. Let's check Codex. I opened a new terminal in Visual Studio Code. I typed Codex and pressed enter. Codex also immediately got to work. Here too, you can continue just like the examples I did in the video. For these tasks, I paid $1 to OpenAI Codex and $1.50 to Claude. It's actually a bit less since part was covered by the Pro package. I calculated that. So even using both APIs, I would have paid these amounts. I subtracted the portion of Claude that I used under the Pro package. So you can think of the pricing as if we used both fully via API. Not long ago, just 2 or 3 months back, there were things I struggled with in my coding videos that we no longer have to deal with. Now, all we have to do is type Claude or Codex into the terminal, write what we want, and then just watch. We don't write code anymore. We're talking to AIs that translate our ideas into code, and the best part is that now anyone can easily do this. I think we've reached a more challenging point with our questions now. Up until now, we used to ask how to do something. From now on, we'll be asking what should be done.